Napoleon's invasion of Russia has failed, and now his army, what remains of it, must start the long march home across the barren, snowy wastelands of Russia. And what up against him now is a tough opponent, and it's not the Russian armies, but the river Berezina here, which they must now cross if they hope to get home to France and their beds. But in their way is, in fact, also a Russian army or two, as we already have a Russian general here on this side of the river Berezina here. Looks like he's ready to block them off. There's another Russian army over there as well, ready to sort of cut them off from the far end. But behind them as well are more Russian armies. They are being hounded by the Russians and also being forced into the Russian guns. And there is a threat that the French here could get encircled. A real threat. And here's a load of Russian Jaeger already moving forward. But yes, we have a glorious 4v4 NTW 3 battle for you here today. It's a classic sort of scenario of the Berezina. It's probably one of the earliest sort of maps that came out. And it's a really cool, unique map. Really encaptures sort of the dire situation that Napoleon's army was in sort of like the middle of winter of 1812. It was, yeah, a bad situation. And we do have 4 French corps here. We have the Garde Imperial, which is now marching through a forest, which is an interesting decision. It has got a 12-pounder horse artillery, which is never going to make it. Why they bother bringing guns, I do not know. They should have just brought more infantry, because they might need those. Just rely on someone else to bring the infantry. We have got way up here, yeah, I was going to say, a big artillery battery here anyway, from the French. We have Davout. We have the 13-point there. We have over here Poniatowski with his Poles. You know, they sided with the French, hoping they'd get liberated and their nation, you know, would be free from Russian menace. And now they've gone marching into Russian lands, and they've fallen foul. They certainly have. And we've got Oudinot as well as the final French corps. So some big corps, that's for sure. Oudinot and also Davout, some big point corps. And we actually got Oudinot's Chasseur Cheval here crossing. I don't know if I think they're scouting. Yeah, the Russians are actually falling back. I guess maybe that's part of the rules that they're setting. The Russians have to stay on the other side of the river. Looks like they are generally just sort of like, falling back. So interesting to see. I guess the French, really scouting ahead, I guess. Just trying to take get as many advantages as possible. I'm not quite sure what all the Russian corps are. I imagine fairly similar in points. Because, well, yeah, it makes it fair and square. So there'll probably be like a Wittgenstein, probably a Bagration, maybe some other like high points or like 8 points or something like that, 8 or 9 points. A Dutarov or a Tomasov or something like that. I can't remember. It's a shame we can't see from the Russian perspective as well, because then we could see all the fun units, that's for sure, and all their names. But yeah, you can see here Oudinot moving forward with his Leger, the Legion of the Alps. A lot of Leger here, actually. I'm guessing Oudinot is planning to shoot his way through. The problem, like the 11th Leger, Le Corsairs, good unit. I've got Carabineers in there as well, which are a Grenadier unit, but also, well, Grenadier stats, but also, like, very good at shooting. So yeah, it looks like Oudinot plans to shoot his way out of this problem. We'll see what everyone else does. Certainly the Guard is probably going to be meleeing their way. As you can see here, this is looking pretty bad for the Guard artillery. Why they haven't charged yet, I do not know. Whether they just moved up and they haven't realised. But yeah, they're about to lose that 12 pound. And just what a big waste of money bother to bring that artillery. Because I think Guard artillery usually costs around about 1,000 in price. And you can see, oh jeez, we've got all these Russians here waiting as well. So many Russians chasing this poor Guard army here. Which is just a mere 7 point actually. Which, yes, bring in artillery, and if you know you're right at the back in spawns, you probably shouldn't bring it at all. But yeah, we've got the Leger, we've got the Voltigeurs, we've got the Legion, the Vistula Legion there. Yeah, more Vistula Legion. I don't actually know if we've got the Grognards. Yeah, lots of actually Vistula Legion being brought, so more Poles. We have got the Dutch Grenadiers, but yeah, they haven't brought any of like the old Guard units, I don't think. So there you go. He's going for a shooting build as well. Is this Guard army? I guess they're just going to try and shoot their way through. Definitely, if you know, like the price of this 12 pound, they definitely could have just brought a Grenadier unit and something instead, because you know that's what you want the Guard to be doing, is to meleeing their way through. Like leave the shooting capabilities to other other corps like Davout's and Udanos as well. Davout certainly, yeah, got some decent Legern, the Berwick. We've also got the like the Bard and Line Infantry. They're pretty solid as well. Actually, I think they can melee quite well. At least what the first Line Infantry can. Don't know necessarily what the second. And I mean, to be fair, the Poles think can melee quite well as well, actually. So, yeah, they've got a good. I feel like they've got a fairly well-rounded army. They need to keep moving, that's for sure, with these troops here. But yeah, this is kind of how it's setting up. This is what it's looking like. I'm just generally waiting for the first kill of the game, which is surely going to be on this artillery. But yeah, this was sent in by a member of my Discord. So it was a really fun one and a pretty close one as well. Looking at the like the end result I've seen, it does look like it's a very close one, a snack-worthy one, that's for sure. So definitely make sure you got yourself a snack, maybe a drink as well to wash that down and prepare for a bit of Napoleonic bloodshed. Yes, if nothing happens anytime soon, I am going to actually just make a cut, because usually how the spawn's set is that the Russians will hold here. The Russians usually can get another army across to hold here. That's usually how it goes, and then the French have to try and batter their way through and then get over this river as well. It looks like the French are going to be allowed to get across, which I guess is like, that is kind of how Berezina happens. They're already kind of midway across, having to fight in their back, and then hope that the Russians can't get across where they need to. But at this point in the campaign, there's only 33,000 troops left of the Grand Armee, which is anywhere between sort of like, yeah, 550,000 to 600,000 troops. It's insane loss of life at this point. And that also includes like reinforcements and stuff coming up, because they sent forward extra troops like Victor's Corps to come and help support and, you know, replace losses. So yes, yeah, so it's insane. It's probably more like, yeah, towards like 650,000 troops. They really haven't executed that guard artillery yet. What is going on? What is going on? Just kill it off. But yeah, I guess I'll make a quick cut here, because there's nothing really going on. I don't know whether the French are going to have to fight this Russian army soon, or whether it's part of the scenario. But I'll make a quick cut. I think all you're going to miss is the execution of that 12-pounder. But I'll see you guys in a moment. We are back, and there you go. The sound of the guns suggests the battle has in fact begun. The French have set up a defensive battery here on a bit of a hill by a town. And there you go. The guns are blasting away. Not really sure what they're hitting. Looks like they're kind of, if anything, just ricocheting off the ground, trying to hit units. But the Russians kind of have a little bit of a dip in the ground. They have positioned their troops, so they are. As you can see, the cannonballs are sailing overhead, and not really a problem for those you get there. It looks like the man left with the rear guard job now is Davout. Most of the guard has got through, apart from that guard artillery. We did see that get executed. Took ages for them actually to execute it. It just honestly got like just escorted and then just murdered. Like I said, odd choice to bring a 12-pounder since you had the longest trek to do. But yeah, Davout is now on the defense. Looks like he's got some artillery here. He's got horse artillery and also foot artillery to defend. And it looks like the Poles are also supporting him on the left flank here. They're shifting their forces out there. They've got some stakes set up. What a general. Is this their actual general here with the star on it? Might be. So yeah, they don't actually have an actual general staff, maybe? They just have an artillery as a general. Interesting. I had not realized that. That might put the French at a bit of a disadvantage. But yeah, that is very interesting. Yeah, I haven't actually seen a Poniatowski general staff now I think about it. Interesting. So yeah, all it's going to take is one charge from a cavalry unit, and that's just the Poles done for with morale as their general gets taken out there. Well, that is unfortunate. So yeah, the Poles and Davout also holding the line. The guard is getting out of here. Uno is across. And as you can see, he's having to now face off against multiple Russian armies here. I think the objective is to get to these buildings over here, to break across here. So yeah, this is going to be very interesting, that's for sure. So Udino's got a hard job ahead of him. He's got to hold this bridgehead and if anything, break out from it, because you don't want to be in a tiny little small bridgehead like this, where the Russians can just kind of, if they rout one of your units, they're going to master out a lot of you and then send you packing across that bridge and probably farm the heck out of you. Also, you're just getting bombarded by artillery. Oh, they brought the assault column. You love to see it. 221-man unit that's going to be used. We saw it recently in the Battle of Smoliani. If you haven't seen that battle, definitely worth checking out. But the assault column does make a make an appearance in that one. And we do have cuirassiers here. We have the Dutch cuirassiers. I'm surprised they're not being the main targets for the artillery here, because that would be a Warabi blast, to be honest. But yeah, there you go. Looks like the Oudinot Corps is moving forward. The Guard needs to get up and support them, though, because yeah, there's a lot of opponents, Russian opponents ahead of them. And Oudinot is an 11, but he's not, you know, able to do everything on his own. If anything, I would have left the Poles in the rear guard and try and get Davout up here as well. Because I have a feeling the Russian armies chasing the French here aren't that strong. I don't think they are particularly large, put it like that. I think Davout, if anything, could probably do this job on his own. But yeah, it looks like the Russians sitting back. They know that time's on their side. They can just pick their moment to attack. It looks like both sides right now are just using their like their Strelki or their Voltigeurs or their Trilliers just to, you know, shoot each other up, do some damage. And here we go. The Russians have gone in. We've got Carabineers in the building, I think. Oh no, Sappers in the building, which is a good unit to put in because it's a tiny little unit. There you go. Start blasting away, boys. Fire when ready, or not. He's Legion of the Alps are, of course. Yeah, it looks like Russia's, they're not really looking to really engage on a large scale just yet. They're just kind of making sure they pin in this this French army. Yes, they're concerned that they might just recross across this this second bridge here. Historically, there were 2 bridges built. They were built by Dutch engineers who had to like literally wade into the water to go freezing water to sort them out. And there you go, cavalry going in. These hussars there look like they're just trying to force the Legion of the Alps to form square here. They rout, and in go the Russian infantry. They're going to go into melee. Bayonets twirling. And get going, boys. Start stabbing. I think the Russians I think have been routed out of the building. They're sending more into the building. I think those are grenadiers. They have like a plume on their head that's usually suggesting they're a grenadier. Looks like more of the line infantry here is also struggling. We get the Russians really fighting around this town now. They're going to blast their way through. They might do. Nope, they're going to send more guys into melee. As they do rout again, the Legion of the Alps holding strong here. And this line infantry doing a great job. I mean, it's probably helped that the Sappers in the building are also routing probably everything that goes in. So, and so the Carabineers that are going in there. So together they're actually, you know, helping. But there you go, the Legion of the Alps, after I said that, just, you know, routed. They finally had enough. Keep firing away, boys. Keep firing away. Use every last round you have. You've got to try and just kill as many of these Russians as possible. Yeah, the Russians are actually taking a lot of casualties. Look at the bodies, actually. Already mounting up. That's a lot. And you can see, look at this. Just unit after unit for the Russians is routing. They are holding this ground nicely as Oudinot. He's actually sitting in the assault column, which is the 8th E Division. He's sending these bad boys in 200-man units. And they are running. They are trying to get here. They are not going to close that ground close enough. They want to get into melee, though. They're a grenadier unit. They don't want to shoot their way through stuff. Are they seriously just going to send them in? I think he's just going to commit them. He's like, oh, screw it. We'll send them in with something. Get some cav up. Get some Chasseur Cheval or something up to support. There you go. The assault column's going to fall back. I'd hide it behind something like a line infantry. Goes in. And he then just foolishly sent in the Legion of the Alps here. Why? Why? That seems so dumb. They were doing just fine on the line fight. Whether it's a misclick, I don't know. It might have been. It honestly might have been. Nudno's got a lot on his hands right now. In go more Russians as they try to rout the Sappers. I think still in there, and it might be Carabineers. Could be third of both. And there you go. I think they took the building. I think that fresh unit going in finally took the building there, and Rudno's been finally kicked out. And now I was going to say either the assault column goes in, or you got to send something in there. I don't know if the assault column is the right unit to send in though. It's a 200-man unit. And like half the unit's going to be, more than half the unit's going to be stuck outside. But it's worth a go. You've got the Grenadiers ready to go on tap. Got the Polish Lancers of the Guard arriving here as well. They're really blobbing up their elite cav in one nice spot. One nice artillery volley there. And they're all kaput. On the other side, back on the rear guard sort of front, looks like they finally engaged in a line fight of these guys. Got the line infantry here, the Les Perches. They're blasting away. Doing what they do best. Reload. Fire again. They are fighting Russian Jaeger though, so I feel like they're going to get outgunned. These guys are losing slightly. Yeah, combatants even. Yeah, French don't really want to be taking this fight drastically, because that's not a fight they're going to win. It's a 4v2 to start with, and they're dueling with guys that are much better at shooting. Absolutely. And yeah, now it's the turn of the French to rout on, or sort of en masse. And the Russians have gone into melee here. They've routed some infantry here, and they're working their way down the line. More and more Russian infantry are going into melee as well, since more and more French units are getting tied up. And in they go. And Uno, he needs support. He needs the guard over here. The guard is taking its time though. Why is it? Oh, it's trying to cross over here. It's going to try and flank the Russians. You've got to go quick then. This Legion here need to move, because the Russians will see this. They'll counter this. Poor Uno as well. He's got more of his lights there. Immediately, look at that. They're reacting. Too slow from the guard player. He needs to keep moving. And he's going to send for... Oh, we're going to see Uno sending the cav. He's trying to stop the rot of his core here routing. The Russians are just out meleeing him. Not a bad idea, but it's not necessarily going to be that great, because the cav... it looks like, I don't know, those Portuguese Legion might have been rear charged. Cav charges into some squares. They might get some of these Russians, though. At least going to slow them down. And Uno is fully getting pushed out of the town after having some initial great success. He is now feeling the pain. And the Russian muskets rip into the side of that Chasseur Cheval and get rid of that. This flank here needs to think about turning around. It's not reacting. Well, I guess it is a little bit. There are a few units here holding the line. The Legion of the Alps and the Le Band Picardy. They're there. We've got lots of militia as well. So Russia just pumping out the spam units. And they're not bad, as we saw in the Battle of Slomiani. They can do some work as well. We've got the Cuirassiers here moving forward. It looked like he was going to send them in. It's not worth it. If you're going to send them in against the all the militia here. I think that's a play. You could just smash this flank nice and quick with the Cuirassiers. Back it up with... Oh, we've got Devu now arriving. He's now withdrawing troops from the other flank. I hadn't even realized. Yeah, Devu's pulling back. Oh, we've got the Grenadiers of Holland falling back as well. They need to slowly just get more and more back. Like these Carabineers, they're not doing anything. Get them back. Same with, yeah, a lot of these troops here. They're all now slowly falling back bit by bit. You don't need to stay here. This isn't the objective to stand and fight. These guys are just a mere distraction. They're the low points, I think, for Russia. The high points for Russia are on this side here, waiting, and they are currently destroying the French. The amount of French troops routing, these other Uno units can't stand long. This is kind of the problem. That's why you need to expand out as quickly as possible from your cordon. Because the French are struggling right now to cross this, to cross the Berezina and stay on this side of the Berezina. All that hard work those Dutch engineers did might be thrown away. But historically, the Russians weren't on this side of the river. That's how the French were really able to get out. They tried to find a crossing of their own further downstream, and I think they did find one, but they couldn't then actually get across to in time to stop Napoleon. I think they might have, but they didn't. They didn't have forces on this side of the river like they do in this sort of like situation. This is a little bit, I think, ahistorical, because yeah, there's not a Russian army waiting for them. The French just kind of cross. It's the impending doom of the guys behind them that's the real problem, not the fact that there's guys waiting on the other side of the river. Because there wasn't. The river in itself was a big opponent. Portuguese Legion holding on. These guys are far from home. Conscripted into the Portuguese army, or the Portuguese Legion that the French set up. But the Guard is now crossing. The Guard needs to do something, and needs to do something quick. It is literally facing one cav, 2 infantry. All it's got to do is just, well, I have to keep moving these guys forward. Just keep moving forward, swing into the side of the Russians. If the Russians can be pinned in place by Uno here, they can be mopped up down the flank and really give some relief to this impoverished Uno Legion, Uno Corps. And Devu's in here as well now. But the Leger Berwick here. Fire whenever you're ready, boys. You're needed. And here we go. Here goes the heavy cav. As I said, they should go in against the militia. It's the easy target to go for. Can't form square. usually have terrible morale, but I don't know necessarily with these ones. Look at that, they're redlining, but they're not going to break. Looks like, there you go, one goes. If one goes, the rest should go. Artillery shredding the reserve militia as well. Here comes some cav. There's Cossacks going in. And the cuirassiers are just going to do a little bit of a charge, then retreat themselves. They are getting charged now by the Cossacks. They were out a couple of those militia, but nothing too insane. I need to be careful, actually. Udno is wavering with his... Well, he's not wavering, but he's orange lining. He needs to be careful. He's going to take unnecessary losses from this Cossack going in. They are hounding the cuirassiers there. Heavy cav there, and they're actually going to disengage. I think they were trying to disengage and go for the guns there. It's not a bad idea. They're going to rout, and there you go. The cuirassiers did enough in the end, but they took a lot of losses. And yeah, troops are routing. What are the Guard up to? Guard is moving, it is forcing back the Russians, but it's not really being able to get them into melee, which is a great shame. It's kind of what they need to do. They are, yeah, being at least a threat. Luckily as well, a lot of these Udno units seem like they're returning, which is good to see. If you're rooting for the French, if you're not, if you're rooting for the Russians, that's a bad sign. Looks like the Poles are shifting troops from the left over here, because as you can see, they're not engaging. Get this general artillery piece out of here as well. Get that to the front lines on the other side, not into the rear guard defenses. As you can see, it looks like the Poles, I think, are falling back their troops. Bit by bit, or they're just replacing Davout's troops in some areas, I think. What have we got over here? We've got a chasseur. Yeah, like I said, the Russians really aren't being that aggressive here. Honestly, I think you could pull back in good order. The French corps are all typically faster than coalition ones, so you could probably just outpace them and get back to friendly lines. You've got militia and also line infantry next to each other. This is interesting because, again, if you got the heavy cav up, charge the militia, certainly these ones, then you could get yourself into the main line of infantry here, melee them. Russia seems like he's formed up a bit of an attack column here. As you can see, this is exactly the sort of shape you know that's going to be forming a column. That's not a shooting line. That's a charge line. There you go again. The Guard, again, just scaring off the Russians. They need to just try and keep pushing hard and be aggressive. There's an artillery piece here setting up. Like, someone needs to take that out. What have we got here? We've got the Polish Lancers. Yeah, they should go in and get that, because otherwise it's going to destroy the Guard. Here we go, though. The Russians are charging, as expected. And they're going en masse. They're not just going with those two units. They are sending in quite a lot here. Davout's Maged blast at last minute. Point blank range. Shoot that Russian unit. That should rout them. Nope, they don't care. They don't even care. I mean, these are two behemoths when it comes to a melee fight. Both love one. There you go, the French one. I was going to say, if they send the heavy cav in, if they keep the gap open... Oh, it looks like they kind of pulled through there. Yep, they've absolutely pulled through to get to this Russian unit. And they tried the gap. The squares formed instead, so the Russians should be able to repulse this. But yeah, really, the French players shouldn't have really gone for that. And there you go. The Guard did manage to get that artillery. They also rout the cav, as they should. It's a Polish Lancer. It's a very, very good cav unit. Don't get shot by infantry now. And certainly don't charge into your gear. Russian your gear typically can all form square. It's like one of the few things that can. Here you go. Cav's going to go in, though. And the Hussars here might rout these Lancers. Didn't get exactly a great charge. And certainly a volley from the gear here might make the difference. Nope, they routed the Hussar nicely. Can they now get a charge in? The Vista Legion, as you can see here, charge, just run in. These guys aren't even looking the right way. You could melee them into oblivion. So there you go. Guards starting to turn it around over on that far flank. The melee fight's still going on here. Davout trying, and it looks like he's going to fail to break this Russian square here, though Udno along the line, and also looks like the Dutch Guards, like the Dutch Grenadiers, the Guards, they are helping to rout some more Russians there. Vista Legion did rout that infantry, no surprise there. And the Polish Lancers, I mean, they could go in for the next one. I don't know if these guys, like I said, can form square. More than likely they can if they're way out on their own like this, just the 2 units of them. He's orange lining. I mean, if he does it, oh no, he has just gone in for melee against Cav. I was going to say, if he does form square, just send in the infantry to just melee him. Yeah, beautiful uniforms from the Poles getting bloodied up there, and they routed that other unit. And there you go. Now this Polish Lancer, think about getting in behind if it wants to. Going to look to flank it behind. It's just a Cossack. It's a cav unit that's sort of guarding this general, and also just the infantry line. And there you go. For now, the French endure, but it's a lot of Davout. I mean, I say the guard as well. The assault column's still alive. You love to see it. 119 of them still going. Yeah, Uno is taking a battering, and more of Davout's army is now arriving here, becoming a larger sort of percentage. And you can see, yeah, even more columns looking like they're retreating. But as they retreat stuff, you can see the Russians are becoming more and more brave and moving forward. They will be aware. Like, their teammates will be telling them, Davout's starting to arrive here. We can see the Davout's here. The guards here as well. They'll probably be saying, so like, you need to start being aggressive. You need to start forcing back that rear guard. Don't allow more troops to get across the river. So that's what they need to do. Just get across that river and then march towards that town that the Russians sort of vaguely expecting. I was going to say the Russians are firing, but the Poles there are doing the smart thing of just hiding behind buildings or between buildings, making it really difficult to actually come and get them, unless you're going to actually go into melee, which the Poles will take that chance, I think. Some of the lights are breaking here, Trilliers. Not the end of the world. Yeah, Polish artillery doing a fair amount of damage to these Russian infantry here, putting holes into their formations. Got Paul here with his Polish Lancers as well. Goes on to become quite a famous cavalry commander in the Waterloo campaign. It looks like both sides are taking a bit of a timeout over on this far side of the river. The French have been significantly pushed back since you've got to remember that they held this town at the beginning of this battle. The Russians have also fallen back greatly on this left-hand side as the guard starts to arrive. Also looks like Davout is sending out troops over there, which is good because you know, they need a little bit more chaff. You don't want to be sitting in the guard constantly. But this is probably why he's brought Trilliers and Vista Legion, because he's not so worried about taking hits from probably muskets and artillery if it's just line infantry and not really grenadiers. Polish Lancers there farming, just like to say, but I guess they are making sure these guys stay gone. Now, yeah, Udino, he's been through hell and back. He really has, but he is holding on with a few troops left. Udino here trying to, yeah, rally the boys. If I was to push, I'd push again by the militia and try and then swing my way around this town, I feel like. Just try and swing in either side of the town. Have the guard push hard over here. And then also have, yeah, like sort of Uno and some elements of Davout. I'd push around here as well and just try and nullify the militia. Get rid of them. They're probably the easiest to get rid of. More Davout troops are arriving. Once more and more of these troops actually arrive and, you know, set up, the French probably have a better idea exactly where they want to attack next. And as you can see, the Russians are getting bolder and bolder. It's now mostly Poles on this front line, and they'll be able to tell. They can see the difference in banners. They're like, yeah, the Vu's getting out of here. They're sacrificing Poniatowski. Don't know where Poniatowski's general is at least getting out of it. And Poniatowski's getting out with a couple of units of his own sappers here and some line infantry. So that's good to see. I mean, there's no need to commit everything to this defense if you can get stuff out. I mean, this is a 12-pounder here. Don't think that's going home. But yeah, more infantry looks like it's returning to the river crossing. at least a few Poles are going to be able to chill in Warsaw after this battle's over. The Russians are still chipping away. I mean, the Poles, again, they're not hanging around. I mean, they're, yeah, G4s, these guys here. There's L3s. Yeah, they're probably similar to the Russians, the L3s. These lights will be L4s. They might be able to catch it with some of the Poles. They're actually winning some of these gunfights as well by the looks of it. Look at this. Yeah, winning slightly here. I mean, they have the hill advantage. Also just got Davout's artillery here, just shredding into any of the Russians that comes a bit too close. I mean, Poles are orange lining, Poles are red lining, but so are the Russians. They're kind of orange and red lining. Whether the Cav's going to go in for anything, I don't know. They could try and get the skirmisher. Or probably not worth it. There's a bunch of dragoons back here and the hussars waiting. The timeout's still very much in place over here. It looks like now is going to be the time for the rear guard to show off what it's made of. Prove that Poland should have been liberated. But Napoleon did the right thing. I do really like their uniforms though, the Poles. Their shakos are so cool. Fire when ready! Beautiful. Oh, they have got them in melee. They actually have got the Poles in melee, and they've routed their grenadiers. But the Poles getting nice side shots. They're actually managing to rout a lot of these Russians here. And yeah, there you go. The Poles have changed their mind. They're going to fight for this edge of the town, it seems. More grenadiers going in. It's the 2nd Battalion by the looks of it. Yeah, the Poles are taking a fair few casualties here. Looks like they've lost, yeah, 2 units, 1 a grenadier, 1 a line infantry. That one should return. Third one there, you go, both their grenadiers gone. A lot of their melee capability may be damaged there. And Poniatowski, even though, you know, the Poles, they have a lot of cav, famed for their lancers. It doesn't seem like they brought many, it just seems like the one brought here. I haven't seen any other lancers recently. Polish cav. And there you go, cav going in here. There are other Polish lancers led by the Piol, and they have routed 2 Russian cav units there. Very nice. Both dragoons and also hussars. They managed to do their bit. I think with the support of that Polish square there, that made the big difference. Russians sent packing here by the artillery again. Really is doing a truly good job right now. There we go. In go the Poles once again. And there you go, the Russians have been routed once again, forced back into the town. The Russians are going into melee once again. I mean, they're going to have to melee through their own friendlies, then get the Poles. The officer there in his yellow shako, fighting in the front lines. Did a pretty good job, you know. Oh, is I am dead? Yeah, it might be actually. No, he's just stunned. He's running for his life. Oh, his unit routed. Cowards! And looks like, you know, the Poles feel like they bloodied the nose of the Russians enough. They're falling back again. I mean, some of them are routing. Some of them are just falling back. Getting out of here. Don't blame them. Do not blame them. They've got to fall back with everything. And here we go. Davout's gun's about to get got. Oh, maybe it's not about to get got. It absolutely just evaporated that poor hussar there. Look at that line of dead. That was all from those guns there. It's incredible. The Poles putting up a tidy defense right now. They're putting up a very tidy defense. How many of them are going to get it out of here and live to tell the tale? Probably not many, I think. But it's a sacrifice that's worth giving. Napoleon's army will potentially survive because of it. Still got to break through the other side though. Still not achieved that yet. wonder whether they can get this artillery out of here alive. It's 12 panel. Maybe they just accepted that's not getting out of here. I mean, it might not. I would have thought one Russian cav is enough to run that down. A timeout over here still continues. In fact, looks like things are on the move, and it's our starting to get formed up. Guard is, well, forming up just right to center, and they are going to be, looks like going for the Russians. They're going to be their opposite numbers, pretty much straight ahead. A lot of tactics in it, just straight and simple. March forward, kill them with your bayonets, and don't retreat. That's what the guards have been told to do. The view on this flank here as well, you know, offer some serious support, to be fair. Yes, I don't know where Udino's going with his core. Whether he's going for the buildings. I don't know. I thought there were some buildings over here, but maybe we just already at them. Oh no, these are the ones I was thinking of. These ones were here, which is the ones I think that the French have got to get to. Kind of why they're angling up in the direction they are. This is not looking good, actually, looking on the map. You can see on the map, the Russians have almost encircled those remaining Poles down there. Fire when ready, Trilliers! Do your damage! And there you go. It's not the end of the Polish army, but the Polish army is certainly in pretty much a really bad state right now. They've got that one cav, they've got a few infantry units, and I think one artillery, which is their general. They might put that on the river and just cheese it and just like block the bridge with an artillery police, which will then make it quite difficult to assault. Not impossible, but very hard. We'll see in a moment, I guess, whether they cheese or not. But yeah, it looks like the French are all moving right. I mean, this is an interesting move. I mean, certainly it's risky. The Russians can equally play the old forest game, and it gets them very hard for micro because you can't see what's going on. Yeah, playing the forest play, it is risky. So we are pretty much back where we left off. Unfortunately, the replay did crash, so I think we're pretty much back where we left off. The French are retreating into the forest, and they actually only have to get to this red line over here, and then any units that basically stand by this red line are safe. So yeah, that's pretty much the basis of the game now for the French, is to try and withdraw as much as possible. We've got 21 minutes to get units out of dodge. The Poles pretty much are done for at this point in the game. And you can see most of them are pretty much dead. I think we're pretty much back where we left off. I don't even know if this general here is going to get out, to be honest. They might need to have him just to stand his ground and just sort of hold here. We'll see. But yeah, he's also got some sappers, I guess. He's got some line infantry that could help him out. But they might honestly have to make some sort of just stand there. But yeah, I'm just going to fast forward, I think, a little bit while we wait, because it is now just kind of a chase down for the Russians. They aren't engaging anything. They're kind of running down some poles here and there. Well, not even running them down. They're just shooting them. And then they just gotta just catch the French up, which the Russians are already across on this far side of the river. They're already pretty badly mauled for fighting Udino, the Guard, and Davout. We've got some militia here. I guess just gonna keep an eye on the river. The rest of the Russian regular infantry is now moving into this forest over here. I guess ready to make one last stand. I guess if they can just sort of swing through the forest and then block the road off, then they maybe can stop the French. But it's unlikely. The French are setting up infantry, tiny units, but they are putting up a bit of a cordon to stop the stop the Russians from just marching through and basically just destroying any hope they have of retreating back to Paris, back to Warsaw and everywhere else. And there you go. Actually, yeah, the Russians are actually danger close. This Laguerre on the front lines here is needed. There you go. Fire when ready, boys. Fire when ready. And they're redlining. The French actually can certainly. The Russians can charge as quickly and route this. And they could, actually stop the French advance. The French, yeah, we've been in a bit of trouble. Carabineers here moving forward as well. Literally untouched unit of Carabineers. We've got Barden infantry, looks like more line infantry as well, shifting down, I guess, trying to block the Russians off. Russians are redlining in a few spots themselves. Uno's infantry keeps moving forward. What remains of it, these guys have seen so much action. The Portuguese Legion, those guys, you know, far from home at this point. They just want to get back to a place that isn't snowy, probably. But here you go, the Russians, I think they're going in. A nice volley there. That might rout the Russians, or maybe not. The Laguerre red lines. See, the Ruskies are looking like they're going to break through that one. Red line and Laguerre. I mean, they're getting shot in the back as well by the Barden infantry. That, I think, in the end was actually what broke them. Not the Russians, but their own allies. Whether the Russians will continue there is, yeah, fresh Imperial forces now getting into position. There you go, the French. They're blasting where they can. The Russians kind of disappear back into the forest once again. There's a fairly large Russian army in here as we saw troops go in. It's the Russian general as well to confirm that, yep, you know, most of an army's in there. Another Russian army is on the way. Looks like he's going to have to face up against the guard here of France. And yeah, Poland getting his last few troops across the river. Well, actually, he's kind of, well, he's got a few more than I thought he had left. Managed to get his cav out here alive. Needs to keep getting some of these other troops out. Keep microing Poland. Don't leave a single Pole behind. They're actually redlining just the sheer sight of the Russians being near them, which is quite sad. Keep moving, boys. Looks like there's Russian cavalry over here as well. That's going to try and, I mean, if they can, they could try and cut off Poles a little bit. But there you go. The charge from the Poles, they go in. And they rout immediately. Russians just were like an iron wall that just could not be broken through. And there you go, the Poles now have to deal with the militia that got left here by the town. They're actually going to try and flank and encircle what remains of the Poles. There is a guard, a unit that are arriving though. We've got the Grenadiers, the Dutch Grenadiers moving over. I don't know why they're bothering to send them over there. These guys are doomed. Just accept they're going to die. Don't send guardsmen over there. We've got Laguerre as well. They could also shift over there if they wanted to for Uno. If they wanted to keep really shifting stuff, they could try and hold the Russians here at this river. There is another crossing, of course, with the Poles. Look like they're going to get a couple more units out there and maybe block that point as well. They're actually sending their cav in. It seems a bit silly, a bit sacrificial. Might want to hold on to that cav. Might route a Russian unit here. Yeah, route one. Might route a second. You get there. Actually, yeah, routing the cav, but route their own men as well is maybe worth it. Slows down the Russians a bit, I guess. If anything, now it endangers these two units here. Because that cavalry could charge them. And the building captured. Oh, they captured this building of... Yeah. The Poles have put the Grenadiers in here. That's not a bad idea. So these guys are like, well, we're not going to get home. But we're a 60-man unit, so we'll just go and stand in that building and really extract a bit of a toll from the Russians. You can see, yeah, the Poles and the Dutch are setting up here in their fine uniforms, beautiful volleys, and they're just going to keep, yeah, just being a pain, keep shooting away. Oh, the militia officer looks quite silly. I do find him quite silly. It looks like, yeah, Strelky here just blasting at point blank range. The line infantry should really just clear that out, to be honest. I'm really surprised that Russia has not somehow got these Poles. They are... I mean, they're moving, but they're not moving exactly at great speeds. And I mean, I don't know, they can form square. At least one of them can. That could be a problem for the Russians. And there you go, the Strelky and the infantry here. I'm going to route that unit. That's going to be a problem. Here comes the Russian cav. I guess maybe pathfinding coming through this camp's a problem. Maybe the Poles will be spared there. The guns, though, are next on the list to take out. The Poles are pulling back some of their infantry and the sappers. Just turn both of those around. Deal with them. Here we go. Here come the guns. Gonna turn in place. I mean, the guns on this like narrow like bit of land could be devastating. But yeah, the Russians are gonna just go in. They're gonna charge. Do not let these guns set up. Get a volley off. There you go. Canistry. And they should route that Strelky, I'd imagine. Maybe not. The death of the Poles. A sad way to see them go, that's for sure. What is going on over here? Looks like the Guard have kind of pushed back the Russians a little bit. The Russians are now actually pushing back the Guard. And it looks like France is also going into the forest here. And he's setting in the heavies. He's sending in the heavies to go and just sort of like get rid of them. But yeah, it looks like they've actually managed to push back the Russians there, which is good. The guard, sorry, the infantry there has been pushed out of the town as well. That's all good. Looks like the artillery is still blasting away, routing a few of these infantry units here. Are they going to get another one off? I think they are. Here you come, the guard. The artillery is coming. Are they going to be able to get a volley off? We'll see. Fire when ready. Fire when ready. Oh, that's beautiful from the artillery there. That should rout that infantry. Squares formed here as well to stop the cavalry. That's brutal. There you go. The sappers are going to continue on. They see that these infantry here, they're red line. They just probably just have to touch them with their bayonets. They should rout. The other one though, blasting into the flanks of those Poles there. That's doing a lot of damage. There you go. There's just one artillery and one infantry now holding this this river crossing. To be honest, I'd get the Dutch over here to try and support these militia. What they're going to do, really? What danger are they really offering to the position? Not a lot, that's for sure. If anything, I'd get these guys out of here because Udino's not coming over to support. He's sending his Legere back. The Poniatowski also looks like he's not staying here. He's going to get out. These boys are sacrificed. His general might die here. Like the Polish general. Are they going to get another volley off? I don't think so, are they? The infantry's on the way. Come on. Do it one last time. No! They break. They break. Oh, it's so sad. Sad to see. But there you go. That's most of Poland gone. Now they have 2 units left. Now it's just down to the French over here to really just sort of get out of here. And they look like they're going to get quite a bit out already. Lots of units are pulling back. Anything of great note that's, getting out of here. A lot of artillery looks like it might get out of here. 8-pounders. The Portuguese Legion's getting home. A lot of Davout's Corps, though, is getting out of here. Davout's Corps is in pretty good condition. It's mainly him getting out of here at the moment. The Guard's in good condition if this was actually able to extract itself out of this mess. Keep firing, boys. Keep firing. Be a menace to those Russians. Make them regret coming up against the old guard. Well, it's not even the old guard, it's the young guard mainly. But make them regret facing the Imperial Guard of France. Oh, rip in peace that guy. There you go, yeah, the young guard here. In a line fight, that's probably okay for them, to be honest. Combat winning slightly. Yeah, these are Trilliers and Voltigeurs. They're going to do okay against Russian line infantry. That's for sure. The Russians here, yeah, taking some casualties. That's for sure as well. France still has a bit of useful cavalry here. We've got the Cuirass still alive. We still have Piol as well with his Polish Lancers. We still have the Karinsky here as well with his Polish Lancers. I think this is actually his general that is going in because I haven't seen an actual guard general. So as this is a combat gen, I'm presuming this is the general. But he's going in here against militia. It's not a bad target. There you go. Charging in. Those beautiful uniforms. And they break them. They should get the other one as well on the other side. They might get this unit as well, or actually looks like we're going to have the Legere charge in. And there you go. The Legere should get that infantry unit. He looks like he's going to charge. Oh, he might have to charge. Oh, he's charging into the militia. Not a bad idea, but I was going to say there's a Dragoon unit coming. And these guys are the real concern. Kill the Dragoons. Don't worry about the militia. Yeah, they got charged. There's Lancers there. Oh, and that's the general. Dead. Yeah, that is in fact his general. There you go. Legere is going to get out of there, but I don't know if the Polish Lance is going to get out of there, that's for sure. Oh, there's another cav unit arriving. Russian cav coming in, really making sure this Polish Lance does not get out of here. Hussars of Russia putting down the glorious looking Poles. And oh, that's this militia breaking. Okay, there you go. There you go. The Polish Lancers finally Karinsky's dealt with. And it looks like it looks like the Cuirassiers might be about to go. And these guys are exhausted from fighting, I'd imagine. They could go after this unit here. Oh no, it can form square. I think it's going to as well. They'll be exhausted then. So if the Cuirassiers, which they are now, they are running, they are charging. They could definitely catch that Dragoon. There's more cav coming forward here. It looks like, yeah, they are going to try and get literally every unit out possible because they're like putting up a cavalry screen there for the remaining Poles to get back in. Here we go, heavies getting in there. Slightly, yeah, here go the heavy cav. Udino's Cuirassier has seen a lot of action. But they're not done yet. These are Dutch cuirassiers, the Hollandais. A bit like the Grenadiers. There you go, they routed them. Oh, I actually needed the help of the Chasseur Cheval. I didn't even see that. They just side charged. I was thinking that was a very minimal like combat actually happening between the two for that to rout. There you go. In go Voltigeurs. They're going to go in and charge here. After finishing squaring up against the Dragoons, they've gone in. And I think they're going to get routed. They're not exactly the best in melee of the Voltigeurs or the Tirailleurs. Look how much is getting back already. This is technically, I guess, a French win. I don't know how much they have to get back for it to be considered a French win. I mean, Oudinot's getting out of here. I don't think even Davu's got like an actual general. I think it must be a combat gen. I've not seen him, but I presume it must be. Vistula Legion holding on in here. Doing their best, they really are. My gosh, they look beautiful, they really do. They're redlining though, they are losing slightly. Yeah, losing slightly. They should, I mean, the Russians have to just side charge them or just side shoot them. They should just deal with those guys quickly. France is still engaged here with the heavies. Will these guys get out of here? I don't know. Kind of forms. These guys have formed square, I think. Might not matter. I mean, oh, this little Payol cav here could get around. There's a general very much in the taking. If we could just get around him, sneak in, that's a definite general kill. I don't think there's. Oh, and there's actually more cav moving in that direction now. Even more concerning. So yeah, we've got French Chasseur Cheval there. So yeah, that general, I don't think has actually realized how much danger he's in. Just need to side charge some of these Vistula Legion. I'll get rid of them. And there you go, General, I think, is about to be assassinated. There goes Payol. And here comes some Cossacks. They were just stood there. Didn't get that, didn't save their General. And they go. I think they will kill the General here. Possibly. Certainly you're going to get the Cossacks as well. They're redlining. Payol is still very much alive. This might be Davu's General, you wonder. Whether it's Payol. Because the combat gen... Might be. And there you go. The Payol and the Chasseurs, they managed to rout that a Cossack. They didn't then actually get the general though. The other general. Oh, there's another Russian general here. Oh boy, he might be in trouble. France is absolutely annihilating the French, by the way, in this forest fight. I've not really been showing it because it's quite hard to just like watch a forest fight, to be honest. Trees everywhere. But as you can see, the French are actually with the guard sort of encircling. They managed the Polish like legions here, Vistula legions. They've held on. They've actually managed to hold on, win their melees that they're in, which is crazy. The heavies might get out of here, you know. 41 heavies, you know, help with the rear guard once again. Oh, and Poland's general re-rallied. That's quite funny. Poland's general is back in the game. 6-pounder artillery crew. Get back on your guns. Defend the crossing when they when the Russians come back across. And the Poles have captured that building back there. Excellent stuff. Yeah, he's managed to catch a few units here. More guardsmen getting caught out and killed. That's a shame to see because, you know, Napoleon needs some guards to guard him in his retreat home. I can't exactly remember the date, but I can't remember if this is before or after Smoliani. I think it's after Smoliani. Or maybe not. Maybe it's this Berezina is before Smoliani. Cab charging here going in anyway, Davu charging in. Just thinking with the Oudinot here present, and Oudinot is actually called in to help. No, Smoliani I think must be before Berezina, and they basically I think are deciding they're going to like try and counter and hold the Davina line, and then when that doesn't work, Oudinot has to fall in with the rear guard. I think that must be the case. More guys charging in, Davu charging in the 17th foot. And he's charging in his general's bodyguard, holding his flank here. Beautiful stuff. Holding in the onslaught bayonets. Kill him. He's redlining. He must be routing soon. Not really much you can do about him. There you go. General killed. Geez, General dead. And in a moment, I think we just can see all the Russians in here rout. Is then just the Russians outside the forest that are holding. France is forming some sort of a new firing line. It's not really a great one. A lot of Imperial Guard made up in it as well. Lots of the Poles. Guys, if anything, the Russians will be most likely to want to capture. Because these guys rebelled against their rule. They don't believe in a unified Poland, do Russia. And these guys can form square if they want to. They could do so, but there you go, Russian cav going in. Didn't form square, that's for sure. Hold the line, infantry going. Oh, that's absolutely, definitely Femin. Femin for sure in there. Routes out of Russian infantry. Might get the cav as well. A healthier Russian infantry unit going in. It's a sacrifice being made here by the 17th line to allow other troops to get back. Poland! Get your boys back. You've managed to get this far. Get your boys back. He's got one back, which is an achievement, but get a second one back. Double that achievement. Get out of here. I don't know if Isha says getting out of it. I think some of these Russians have re-rallied as well, and actually now they're looking like they could insert quite a few of these Frenchies, especially the ones the guard here stuck in the forest. You really ideally need to get out of the forest to help with this movement. Like, go in this direction. Get out of here. The Russians are coming, though. I mean, you could also just charge his way through the Russians. These guys have re-rallied once. These are guards. I'd take my chances by charging the Russians. There is literally 2 minutes left. He might not even after he gets through the Russians get to the red line. I think this is technically where they have to all get to. They can't just go to any old red line. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they could just go to anywhere here as well if they want to do. That's just a longer walk. Possibly not, actually, because otherwise then they would have all just charged through this, like charged here. They would have gone down and then gone through. That's all. Yeah, so maybe they had to go to this corner over here in the top left of the map. I can hear a charge. Oh, it is the Russians. The Russians charging. It's a long way to go, and these guys are probably tired already. Squares have been formed. Guess they... Well, there's Cav stuff about that Dragoons return. And they're also preparing, I think, for a melee fight where they, might... You get a few extra bonuses, I think, from being a melee. There you go. A volley goes off from the Poles. As their last stand is prepared, I just charge. Just charge. I was going to say, don't let the Russians set up and charge, shoot back. Oh, and there you go, yeah. Poles are redlining. An orange lining. I mean, these British Legion, they're okay at shooting, but they are they're quite small units. Certainly at this point, 7. Losses are probably coming into it. Keep blasting away. Careful. Oh, that's okay. I think that they might have just got a last-minute volley there. Looks like a few of these Poles might get out of here, though. Oh, I don't know. The Russians are really close. Don't know if much of the Imperial Guard has got out, actually, in today's game. The assault column, they're getting back. Hell yeah, I'm glad to see that. But yeah, literally 30 seconds left of this game. Just going to fast forward as we just see if anything actually does survive from this. But yeah, well done to the French. I feel like they played a decent game, certainly. It's a high-pressure game playing in Berezina. You're just getting squeezed from both sides by the Russians, and you just think, we're honestly not going to get out. But they, worked well under fire, and yeah, Udino, credit to Udino, did a really good job. The Guards did a pretty good job as well. Odd to bring that artillery at the beginning of the game, but apart from that, I'd say they played a decent game. Davout, pretty much untouched, had an excellent game, did a really good rear guard action, and Poniatowski did what they needed to do to hold that rear guard. Not many Poles have survived, but they sacrificed themselves for the greater good. But yeah, there you go. Hopefully we should have the end results up on the screen so you can have a look at this. This was sent in by Piper, who's a member of my Discord, sent this one in, said it's a really good battle, and yeah, it was a really good one. Pretty close as well. Russians were real danger at one moment of catching the French. Yeah, the French have got some troops out, probably about an army's worth, I would say. So that's not too bad for them. So I give the victory to the French, even though it says draw at the top of your screen. So have a quick look at the Piper's kills. He got 171 kills with the cuirassiers there, 123 kills with his line infantry. Sap has 96. The Legion of the Alps getting 87 kills. And there are the rest of his kills if you want to have a look at those. Not huge ones, but yeah, some decent ones there, that's for sure. But there you go, guys. That is today's NTW3 battle. If you did enjoy and want to see more Napoleonic action, do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and a comment to show your support. And I'll see you folks in the next one. Bye for now.